Hey guys, so here we are. Finally, a video that I will show you some gameplay rather than being another update video. On this video, I will be doing a complete playthrough of the first playable demo of the game. The intent of this is so you guys can see, integrated in the game, all the things that I have made for the game during the last months. This way, you guys can experience the worlds and exploration for the first time in this video. The gameplay will be all the playable parts I have working so far. I will be explaining additional things and making references to previous videos so you guys can see how the additions I talked about on the past have ended up in here. These explanations will not only be useful to explain why things are working how they are, but also they will help to show you how things will end up being on the future final version, even though they are still in an unfinished state in this demo. As you can see here on the desktop, you can see all the folders with each update that I have worked so far. This is named how it is because it is finally the first time I will be able to play the game. On the end of the playthrough, there will be additional comments about the state of the game, as well as how the development of the channel and future projects are currently being developed. So, after all these updates, I can finally officially present you the Realities game. The name is still under ideation. These may change on the final version, so if you guys can actually think of a better name, leave it down in the comments so I can read them. I will be playing the game as I would plan others to play it, assuming or behaving as if the explanations or the information on how to do things will be in the game already. Additional tutorials and explanations will be included in the final game. The first thing we would do is try to interact with our guy. In our case, we are given by default the ball guy, but we will be able to pick our guy in the final game, like an starter pet. Hi there, I'm Grit. Do you have a name? I'll call you Blue Guy, if that's okay with you for now. When we call him, yes, this one is a him, he doesn't pay attention and ignores the orders. This is because the link with the player is still at level 0 and is not our friend yet. To fix this, we can go in social mode and interact with him. For now, the minigames are still in a very basic stage, but later on there will be levels of difficulty depending on how much link we have with the guy. To start easy in the beginning, but getting more challenging when we maxed out the obedience. When interacting with the guy, we can improve two stats, the link with the player and the mood of the guy. Just for interacting with the guy, we increase his mood. Apparently he gets bored being alone with no one else to interact with. Even if we get the minigame wrong and he fails to do the trick, he will still gain mood points. But if we also manage to do the trick correctly, the obedience or the player link will go up. For now, the link affects the chances of the guy obeying us, and the mood will affect the sad or happy animations when events happen. So, if we manage to continue being successful, he will end up doing what we tell him to do more often. After interacting for a while, the obedience stat has gone up, what allows us to tell him to do things, like train a bit in the pushing cube, for example. By training, the guy increases the training level of different skill trees. For now, there are only speed and strength stats to level up in the demo. If we want to continue leveling up the obedience, so he obeys us 100% of the orders, we will have to continue training him in the social mode. The issue is, there is a limit that the guy would like to play and train with us. It will reach the point that the guy won't have fun anymore and get tired, making his mood go down instead of up. This will be balanced in a way so we encourage playing and coming back to interact with the guy often. If you train and play in small doses, the guy will be happier rather than if we abandon him for long times and then make him to catch up. This allows the player to choose if he wants to have a virtual friend, basically. The player can have a more friendly training, or on the other hand, if the player just wants to have a pet to fight and get strong, can just focus on the fighting and leveling up and not care about the motions. There will be different benefits and penalties depending on each style of gameplay. This will add a bit of complexity to the game, and I think giving the player the choice on how to play and interact with the guy is an important benefit. In this demo, we have for now the forest reality to explore. And because we are still on the beginner level, we can only travel to easy worlds, what will be good to start with. Low levels have less things in them, so there is less to explore and collect, but also less enemies to worry about. On this first tiny world, the first thing we can see is that there is already someone else here. We can easily check the stats on this NPC to see if we are able to win or no. Since we are here to search for energy cubes, and I think I see a small light behind a tree, we can give our guy an order by clicking him first. If then we click on an object, we will see the options to interact with the selected object. Let's deal with the enemy first. If we are busy doing something else and he gets close, he will attack us anyway. So, in theory, we should have 50-50 chance of defeating him. Usually, when you are at the same level, the guy that first hits the enemy wins. But it's not a sure thing, and it depends on who lands more and stronger attacks. Come on, Blue. He lost. If the world link bar, aka health, goes down, we will lose the connections with this reality and will go back to our world. Once in our reality, we can send our guy back to rest, so he recovers. It's okay, you did well. Next time we will get him. Don't worry. Now, while our guy is recovering, we could do other activities like customize and build things in our world, for example. I tweaked the values of the demo so we wouldn't have to wait very long. Since we haven't gathered any materials yet, we wouldn't be able to craft. So another reason to explore other realities, apart from finding energy, is to find materials so we can customize our world. It looks like the guy has recovered already, but now we can see that the other effect of being defeated is that he is not happy anymore. Don't worry, we can always interact with him to cheer him up. You can see how, depending on its mood, he will react differently when we call him. It doesn't look like he's very cheerful, but we can keep calling him to cheer him up. There we go. So, after traveling again, we ended up in the same reality as before. The first thing we want to do this time is to make sure that we collect the energy just in case. It looks like the light is coming from the small rock behind the tree. So let's smash it to see if it's inside. Wait, it seems like while farming, the other guy has found us. But well, I think if we are fast, we can finish breaking the rocks, so come on. Go, go, go. Yes. Bye. We are a bit hurt, but since we are back, we can recover, no problem. We made it out and we got the energy. So now that we have an energy cube, we can choose what ability to increase. I think the best to start with is to increase the speed. This way we will explore faster since our guy is kind of very slow right now. Now you can see how we are at level 2 speed, and the guy moves faster. If we want to increase the level more, we will need to train to unlock the next levels. So after a while training on the running track, we can head out again to get more energy. In this reality, we can see how there are different objects and NPCs from the previous one. It looks like there is no energies hidden in this world, but we can still interact with the objects and smash them to farm the materials as well. If an enemy gets defeated, this one could release an energy as well, so we could fight the guy since he is alone. Wait, I forgot we didn't recover from the last fight and we are both at the same level. Nope, we should go. After smashing the tree, we picked wood and plant cubes that the tree left. You can see how they are showing up and how many we have. If we choose the running track object, for example, in the craft menu, we can see how we wouldn't have enough cubes to build the object yet. But if we would like to build it, after recovering, all we will need is to go back exploring to farm more wood cubes. First, we want to check if there is any enemies hidden around. But since there are not, we can continue breaking trees to get more wood. This time, it looks like the other NPCs won't be bothering us while we are farming trees. You may have noticed how these worlds are pretty empty and there are not many materials to farm in them, so we need to travel a lot to get more objects to smash. Later on, when we level up, worlds will have more things in them and we will be able to farm more stuff. But in these, there will be also more enemies, so first we need to level up. If we were to go now, we wouldn't last very long alive. Also, if we level up the strength, this will allow us to farm faster materials. We can ignore enemies for now and just focus on finding energy cubes in the worlds. On the final game, we would spend additional time like farming to be able to craft more things, for example. But since for now all the crafting system is unfinished, we are focusing more on the training and leveling up. You can see how when we are a higher level than an enemy, we can pretty much guarantee winning the fight on a one-on-one. Sometimes we will have to fight enemies to be able to keep finding resources in other worlds. And that's why it would be good to not expend all the energy in speed and increase strength as well, in case we need to fight. We can also check how our guy is doing to see if he's losing obedience or happiness. Since we haven't made him train too hard yet, it should be okay for now. But because the mood stat is getting low, we can interact and play just to cheer him up. Another reason to continue exploring is that we can sometimes find new materials. Here we just found a white crystal that we can smash to pick up glass cubes. Because we haven't found any glass cubes yet, these are not showing on the craft panel with the other materials. This way we will be able to unlock new objects to craft and build new things. After picking up the loot, now it shows in the material menu. Well. See who's back. First, as always, let's find the energy before dealing with the enemies. So now that we have the energy, let's show the pointy guy who has been hitting the gym lately. Oh, it looks like the pointy guy is very strong for being a 1-1-1 level NPC. But we are as well, so this time things will end up on our favor. Stay down. So after that epic battle, we can go back to our reality to continue getting stronger. We can spend the energy to level up and leave the guy training to unlock more strength and speed levels. As I said before, our next goal is to get level 10 so we can travel to new realities, and for this we will need to unlock at least 3 levels for now. On the final game, we won't have to stay here looking at the guy how he trains and rests. We could leave the guy training and go out of the game to do something else, and come back later and check on the guy to see how he's doing. But since the save system is still not working, we cannot do that yet. As I explained on the previous update video, the leveling in this demo is sped up to play through in one take. We can tell if an object has energy inside because these emit light like energy cubes do. We can level up depending on how we would like to approach the exploration and the combat later on. Here is an example on how we don't necessarily need to fight every enemy. If we level up speed, we could run away from the enemy and have more control over the blue guy to dodge attacks, for example. We can also hide, so an enemy that has spotted us loses sight on us. You can tell how we have become a master of disguise, and with our ninja skills blend in the environment perfectly. Because of this, the enemy has no possible way of knowing where we are. Even if we are behind the only object in the world, don't mind that. You can also tell how maybe these guys in other realities are not very bright. The other gameplay style that we could choose to approach this is a bit more subtle and requires a bit more finesse. It's called Smash All the Things. Because we are stronger than the other NPC, we can just click on the enemy and let our guy kick its pointy ass. After bullying the local guy, we raid everything in the world and head back with all the loot. After that, we continue working out here, so we are leveled up when we end up finding the energy. We travel to another world and a local tries again to fight us, not knowing that we will destroy him as we did with the previous NPC. Oh, we didn't recover from the last fight. We will need to have bad luck to... Well, that just happened. Double knockout apparently. Don't worry. We can rest again and continue with our energy search. We continue going out to different realities trying to find cubes. This time we will try to stay focused and just take the cubes and leave while avoiding enemies. We keep looking for energy cubes by checking behind trees, just making sure that there are not hidden enemies left while exploring. Here you can notice a bug actually. The HUD of material and energy numbers has reset to 0. I decide to smash a tree to get the loot and test if the bug has made us lose all our loot. You mind, dude? Go away, I'm busy here breaking your tree. Yes, let's pick those up. Oof. After picking up the material, we can see how the bug is just displaying it wrongly. We finally have enough energy to level up and unlock the next level. Now we can go to new worlds. Oh, after all the training non-stop, the guy is not feeling very cheerful. So first we can briefly cheer him up. Another thing that the mood can change, and you can notice, is how the guy will have some happy animations when successfully smashing something or defeating an enemy, for example. Okay, everything is ready. Let's go to level 2 worlds finally.